Hi, I'm here with Joseph Mallozzi of Dark Matter. It's amazing to be here in your amazing office. And and you look fantastic. How is the show going? Is it going great?
The show is going fabulous. We're actually shooting episode 1 now, but we actually are block shooting, and we actually already shot episode 4, which is a kind of a Cuckoo Bananas episode. It's going to be, as I was writing it, I said, you know who's going to love this? The AfterBuzz crew.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be pretty awesome. So basically, we're going to wrap 1 tomorrow, and then we're going to start episode 2, and which is going to be our 3rd episode. We'll have 3 done, and then we head into the new year, and 3 down, 10 to go.
Well, fantastic. And obviously you left us on a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of season 2. So does season 3 pick up directly after that?
It does, immediately after that, which is kind of a challenge because, you come back and the actors are, think, well, I'd love to grow my hair out or like to do something new with my hair, which was actually 2 things that we had to deal with. But we had to tell them, no, actually we can't do it because episode 1, the premiere, takes place right after, like on the heels of the events of the finale, and of course we find out who lives, who dies. Mm-hmm. It's all up in the air.
Well, we do know because you tweeted that there are some ER7 escape pods, and somebody's going to be using those, obviously. So I imagine, otherwise we wouldn't have any crew.
I was just confirming what I'm sure eagle-eyed viewers already were able to piece together by seeing the visual effect of this escape pods leaving just prior to the explosion.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And can you say anything about who we will see in the premiere of the season?
We'll definitely see the android because we last left her on the ship with a seemingly dead Nix. I'd like to say we're going to see Anthony, who plays 3, but he was in pretty dire straits when Lieutenant Anders came across him. And I'd love to say we're going to see 5, but she was in rough too with actually, come to think of it, I can't make any promises at all.
No one was in a good position.
No,
yeah.
Nobody.
Apart from maybe the android.
Well, one thing that season 2 hopefully demonstrated is that no one is safe on the show.
Absolutely. But in terms of new characters, you mentioned there's about 3 new characters coming on. Can you say anything about them?
Yeah, actually, one, the character of Solara Shockley, who is a character who she plays essentially a bodyguard for another character, and she ends up on the ship, and she ends up butting heads with 3, of course, and they have a great little repartee, and the character is played by an actress called Aisha Issa, who auditioned for Nix, and I remember her Nix audition. She wasn't quite right for Nix, but she was fabulous, and kind of in a way, I kind of wrote the part for her, kind of hoping that she would nail it in the audition, which she did, and she's amazing. She's a black belt, award-winning jiu-jitsu champion. Wow. So she's pretty fantastic, and the girls in wardrobe have put together a great outfit for her. The other character is a character called Adrian Marrow, and we introduce him as Tabor's assistant. So he's Tabor's gopher, who, attempts to sort of make a step, take a step up in the world, and he's a really fun character. Did I mention 3 characters? I'm trying to think now. Those 2 definitely, and
there was a 3rd.
Can you give me a hint?
Is it Mishka?
Oh, Mishka plays actually Adrian. Mishka Thibault. Thibault? I think so. Yeah.
Sounds
yeah. And we'll have a few recurring characters as well. There's a character called Ash, who appears early in the season as a mercenary, hired by who? We don't know. On a completely unrelated note, Forrest turned dark side and is now full on Ryo Ishida, and after the things that happen at the end of the finale. I mean, he took off with a blink drive. Unbeknownst to him, Nix is presumably dead. The crew or whoever's left is going to come together, realize he's double-crossed them, and possibly murdered Nix. So there will be a reckoning, season 3.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Have they, I mean, obviously, previously one of the things we wanted to know was what happened to one, whether he'd been murdered and whether there would be retaliation for that. Is that storyline going to be followed at all?
It will be followed. In fact, we had some closure in episode 5 of last season, wherein 2 ends up killing Jace Corso, and of course he tries to sort of barter for his life and says, "Hey, this is bigger than me," and she's like, "I don't care," and kills him. And we kind of put that to rest. However, there are outstanding questions: who hired Corso? Why? Who set up 3 for the death of Derek Moss's wife? Why? And those are all questions that we'll be answering later in season 3.
Brilliant. And I know you'd previously said that you wanted to bring some comedy back to sci-fi. So would you say season 3 is funnier or darker?
It's really hard for me to say. I mean, when I write the scripts, I try to include a bit of humor in every episode. Of course, some episodes are funnier than others. Overall in season 1, I think season 1 had a bit more of a lighter tone, although people say it was fairly dark, although I think season 2 was pretty damn dark. Season 3, I think, has a lot of really fun episodes, and there's, again, I cite episode 4. It's kind of our bananas episode, which is a lot of fun, and Anthony Lemke as 3 really tears it up, and you get to see some great scenes with the android, and just, it takes basically a sci-fi chestnut, if you will, and gives it our own dark matter twist.
Okay. And you just mentioned the android there, who's a really popular character. Yeah. And it's fantastic to see the different sort of versions of her, really. Will we be revisiting her as a human type android and also Victor?
Yeah, in fact, we will. I'm working actually as we speak, as we interview. I mean, literally, I'm thinking about the script right now. Episode 309, we actually find out what her deal is, basically, where she came from, what her connection is to 2, and it's a surprising one. And, along the way, she still has an upgrade, so we will see glimpses of her as a human whenever the need arises. One of the things that really drives me nuts about some shows, it's not all shows, just a few of them, they will set up mysteries and never pay them off.
Right.
And really, after about a season or 2, you realize the reason they don't pay them off is because they don't know where they're going. They're just making it up as they go along. I promise viewers that I have answers for everything, and that we will be doling out answers along the way. We'll probably be asking a few more questions as we're answering those initial questions. But I think by the end of our 5 seasons, because that's the plan, to go 5 years, we'll have a nice, cohesive storyline with a beginning, middle, and end for all our characters.
Okay, right.
And then in season 3, we find out what the deal is with the aliens, how they're connected to Dwarf Star, and how that was connected to the character of 2, and basically it sets up a big revelation later in the season.
One of the things I was wondering as well is with regards to the nanites that that 2 now has, or essentially upgraded nanites, will that give her any kind of new abilities at all that we might see her use?
I wouldn't say they give her new abilities, but certainly she'll put them to use in different ways. Okay. I'll put it that way.
One of the things I like as well is how you ask fans about episode titles. Are you going to continue doing that?
Yes, actually. True story. One of the things I hate most about working in television is coming up with episode titles. So I thought, this is a perfect way to include the fans and get me out of actually having to. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I guess delegating the work. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of fun. What I decided to do is I just pick 3 lines of dialogue from the episode, 3 lines that I think kind of fairly thematically sum up the episode, and then have the fans vote, and it gives the fans kind of a teaser of what lies in store. Fortunately, there were 2 incidents last year where the line of dialogue didn't make the final cut just because it ended up getting cut and editing. But yeah, definitely this season I will probably be equally lazy and rely on the fans to do my job for me.
And it's really nice that you interact with fans, and you're obviously quite busy on social media. And I saw recently that you took Jodelle to the Christmas market.
Yes.
So is Christmas a big thing for you?
I'm Italian, so I guess so. Yeah, I mean, when we were growing up, we would do the big Christmas supper. So I'm going to be heading down to Montreal and spending Christmas with my family and loading the dogs up and driving there. But yeah, I mean, the Christmas market, it was just really cold. But Jodelle wanted to go. It's funny. It's my girlfriend is like, you get along so well with Jodelle because Jodelle is essentially the character she played. She's a huge geek, and she's like, you're like a female, you're like a male Jodelle. You're such a geek. And I'm like, well, thanks.
Yeah.
But she's one of the nice things is we have such a great cast, and everybody gets along very well. And I know you hear that on a lot of productions, and a lot of the times it isn't true. But this production is great. I mean, you'll get a chance to sit down and talk to Jodelle, and you'll realize what a nerd she is, and you'll hopefully get a chance to talk to Zoe and realize how kind and sweet she is, and she's a serial texter. In fact, I received more texts from Zoe than any other cast member. And then you'll meet Anthony, who is in some ways totally unlike his character. Right. The curmudgeon 3, Anthony is like so open. He's the first guy who, if you visit set, will come over and introduce himself and say hey. On the other hand, he's a little like 3 in that he talks a lot. Yeah. He does talk a lot.
And I mean, it's great to hear that about the set. And I have spoken to them previously, and I asked them one question which I'd like to ask you as a final. If you had to live in space and you could only take one thing with you that you could keep with you, what would it be?
I want to say my dog. Yeah, I think that would be obvious.
A dog was actually the top answer.
Really? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that fixed it. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's been brilliant to be here. And good luck with season 3.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.